My name is George Brown. I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program, and we're so thankful for all of you for an incredible turnout here at our inaugural Ohio Energy Student Scholarship Breakfast. Before we get started, there are a number of folks I'd like to thank here today, but first and foremost, can we all please give a warm thank you to Ariel Corporation for hosting us at this beautiful. We're so appreciative of the partnership with Ariel and for having this here today. We couldn't do it without the entire team, and again, we're very thankful. I also would like to recognize a few of the folks who are on our organization's operating committee board. Our chairman, David Hill, Don Huck, Brett Doctor, Steve Sigler, Brent Breon, and Jeff Baker. Again, these are the folks that help lead our organization every day, and we're thankful for their support and partnerships. I'd also like to recognize a couple of folks who have helped us specifically with this event today from the industry. Megan Niebuhr and Tracy Stevens, thank you both for helping us get this planned, our first time doing this, and we were appreciative of your help to do that. And also our scholarship committee that we have for our organization. You'll see those folks listed in your program, but specifically want to thank John Kramer and Ron Van Horn for their continued volunteer work to help make our scholarships a reality. I'd also like to thank all of our sponsors that generously committed time and treasure to make this event a reality and also help sustain the future of our scholarship awards. Our scholarships are 100% driven by gifts and donations from members of Ohio's natural gas and oil industry. And to date, they've helped award over $500,000 to students pursuing a career in the industry. So I'd just like to take a moment to recognize everybody who helped us here today. Encino Energy, MPLX, Diversified Energy, Enbridge, Ergon, Williams, American Refining Group, Antero, Artex Oil Company, Aspire Energy, David R. Hill Inc., Deering, Dominion Energy, the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District, Ohio 811, Pinoak, and Sound Energy. If we could all give all of our sponsors a warm thank you for their support. I'm really pleased to announce that with the outpouring of support from our sponsors and those who bought tickets, we've been able to develop and raise over $30,000 for this individual event this morning, which is a huge success and again will help sustain the future to provide future scholarship awards like to the individuals we'll be meeting here today. Just want to note a few things we've been doing as an organization. So we've been around since 1998, and we are Ohio's nonprofit statewide organization dedicated to the natural gas and oil industry. June's a busy month for us. In addition to this event, we just wrapped up our annual teacher workshops. We hosted those at our office in Granville, and we had over 60 Ohio educators from all parts of the state coming in, getting free STEM and geology curriculum and lesson plans that they'll be able to take back to their classrooms and make direct industry connections from grades K through 12 that helps really educate students about the science behind our industry, but also make important career connections that we tie in and help make that career connection and tie that we continue to see the pipeline on the workforce development side and a piece of that important puzzle. There are over 75 different career paths in the industry. You'll see some of those displayed here today, but very important pieces to make sure we're engaging with classrooms and educators and students to talk about our industry. Next week, we're going to be taking those teachers on field trips across the state. We'll be in Southwest Ohio on Tuesday, taking educators to some really neat Ohio examples. The Middletown Energy plant, the natural gas plant in Southwest Ohio, Siemens manufacturing plant in the city of Hamilton, Ohio, that has a natural gas utility. So we have those. We're going to Marietta next week as well to take educators out in the field. So I'll just encourage you to take a look at what we're doing. We're always welcoming students, teachers, friends of the industry. If you're ever interested in coming to any of our engagements, we would love to have you there. You can, most importantly, follow us on our social media channels, which is the best way to know what's going on. So if you have a moment here today, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Help us to drive our followers and engagements there and help share our message. It's an easy way, but a very impactful way to help support our organization. With that, I do want to go through a few other things here in our program. As I mentioned, we are so grateful to have Ariel as our host here today. They are an incredible Ohio company with a proud heritage and legacy. So I'd like to welcome John Klaus from Ariel to get things started. John.
Thanks, George. Welcome, everybody. How about this building? How about this building? Thank you. I was talking to a colleague of mine this morning, and we don't get to show it off like this in this circumstance as often as we'd like to. So it's neat to see everybody here. I welcome everybody. I congratulate the scholarship winners. We're super proud of the building. We've been in the building since June of 2017, so we've been here 5 years. I think it looks brand new still. So I personally know Jennifer and Chris do an awesome job of keeping this place looking like it looks. We have a recent facility manager change with Craig, who is a former co-op, and I will address the co-op program here in a second, and they do a great job. The glass placards that are in between the stanchions up here, the reason they're clean is because Jennifer cleans them. She's amazing. She finds any place in this building that needs to be looked at and cleaned, and she does it. So the reason I was asked to welcome you and introduce our next speaker is my involvement with students here at Ariel. So I want to highlight a couple pipeline programs that involve students, one of which we call our high school manufacturing fundamentals class. And as you would imagine, we have high school students in that program. So we partner with, I'm going to say 8 to 10 local schools. We get people that have a potential interest in manufacturing, and we expose them to manufacturing their senior spring semester. So they get here in mid-January. They graduate when high school students do, so in May. And they spend 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, with Ariel Corporation. And we expose them to our CNC machining and our assembly and our maintenance. You know what? Manufacturing can be an awesome career. And that's what the intent of that program is. So super proud to be able to report that 13 of those 14 students in that program are working here this summer. And the 14th person, he had something else going on. It wasn't like he wasn't invited or worthy. He just had something else going on. So that's a cool program. A real quick story. We so on Fridays during the spring semester, a colleague of mine and I traded off every other Friday and taught career skills or soft skills, whatever you want to call it, problem solving, decision making, crucial conversations, etc. So I got to know these people pretty well. One of the young men named Spencer, I'm telling you, this guy, he's something else. When you get to be a certain age and you start losing a little bit here and you get a little gray, you might not be most forthright about your age. So as I built this relationship with these young people over the course of the semester, I noted that I was in my 50s, but I had established a fake age, and it kind of became a running joke with us. I had taught them in March, and then I taught them later on, a couple weeks later in mid-April. Well, I had turned from 53 to 54, and I said, do you think when you actually turn that your fake age changes? And Spencer says, without hesitating a second, no, John, you're 37 to me, and you'll always be 37. That young man, Spencer's going places. The other program I want to highlight is the co-op program, and some of you in the room may be interested in that. I brought a stack of my business cards if you are. I can tell you I travel hundreds of miles and go to exotic ports of call like Toledo and Akron and Oxford and Athens and Columbus to visit what turns out to be 50 students roughly per school at a career fair. We go to 8 schools. By my math, that's 400 people. We interview about 10% of those people, and I'm talking about the studs and studettes that I meet there. You know what? I might be able to save a lot of miles and a lot of time by you people coming to me and asking for my business card. So thank you for helping me do my job today. When I look for co-ops or when I look for any job at Ariel as a recruiter, because that's my main role here, people ask me what I look for, and this is what I want to point out before I pass this on to Alex. I look for confident people, people that look themselves in the mirror and know that they're going to be able to do a great job at Ariel, okay? But it can never cross over into a swagger. It can never cross over into an arrogance. And we talk openly about that. That just doesn't work here. And I can't imagine it works at any of the place that anybody represents today, but it certainly doesn't work at Ariel. We need people that are humble and likable. And if you can be humble and likable, there is no shortage of really, really nice people around here that would help you. So I'm looking for confident, humble, likable people. On my trails, it is not hard for me to find what I call the know-it-all engineer. I can see some people smiling and laughing. They know who I'm talking about. I'm not looking for names. For the students in the room, don't worry about being the smartest person in the room. Try to be the person that wants to learn the most. And I realize this is not a commencement speech and I'm giving advice, but I tell you what, that's what we look for here, and we've been very successful doing that. So with all that being said, it gives me great honor to welcome you and bring up our next speaker, Alex. Alex Wright.
Thanks, John. So the biscuits and gravy were really good, but they make it hard to summon the energy for a really energetic speech. So I'll do my best to overcome that. But I just want to welcome everyone today. You know, on behalf of all of us here at Ariel, welcome to all the companies and the folks that are supporting such a valuable effort in our industry. And we're especially grateful to George and his team for organizing this event here today and giving us a chance to actually use this space in our training center for what it's designed for. So thank you all for being with us. When we agreed to host and they asked me to speak, you know, I always ask, well, what do you want me to talk about? And so the advice I got was talk a little bit about workforce needs, workforce development, and so that's pretty easy for me to talk about because it occupies a huge amount of my focus at leading Ariel because, you know, good employees are well, let me say something obvious. A talented pool of employees is absolutely vital for what we do here and for our industry and our customers as a whole. Everybody knows that. No one would dispute it. But let me talk a little bit about why exactly that is so key in the oil and gas industry, especially. Um, so we are a small town company that competes on a global stage. Our equipment goes all over the world. Every oil and gas field out there has, generally speaking, a piece of blue equipment in it somewhere in the process. And that equipment's vital to the infrastructure around the world in this nation. And the production, transmission, and use of oil and gas requires an incredibly demanding and complex system. It's got high pressures, combustible chemicals, huge amounts of horsepower and electricity, complicated networks of machinery and electronics, and all of it is expected to operate, 99% of the time, so that we can deliver the reliable, economical energy that a modern economy is built on. In other words, in this industry, uh, you really have to know what you're doing, or at the very least, you will break something that is really expensive. Um, so it's key that the folks that all of us have working for us are well educated, are experts in their field and are competent to do some really complicated tasks. And so for us, uh, building the compressors that we do um, requires a huge amount of skill and precision. And in our factories, it's sort of become a matter of course, it's just what we do every day. But if you step back and look at it, people are operating huge pieces of capital equipment that cost millions of dollars each, and they're making parts um, that are delivered, with tolerances, with precision that are measured in widths less than a human hair. And it's we do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day, but it's as I started to think about it, it's so impressive that we have people that are able to do that routinely, consistently, and reliably. And but even in a modern and highly automated facility, it takes a lot of good people to do that work. And for manufacturers like us, and for our customers in the field who are maintaining the equipment that we make, the sad thing is that the pool of skilled employees has been shrinking for years. Um, and there are a number of things contributing to that, but we think it's a shame because for us, um, when we get a chance to make the case about the kind of jobs that we have, we feel like we have a lot to offer, and we feel like any modern manufacturer has a lot to offer. These jobs are um, nothing really like the classic 1940s factory that's backbreaking and repetitive and dangerous, and they're well paid because they require a huge amount of talent and drive, and there's a huge amount of advancement available to people that go into this industry because it's a shrinking labor pool. So everybody's competing for employees. So it's not a bad dynamic. It's a little bit frustrating as an employer, but as a prospective employee, it's a good one. Um, and so for us, we think a lot about how are we going to make sure that we have the right people to do the jobs we need to do, and because we have to refuse that decline in the labor pool. It's unacceptable to us that that would occur, and we suddenly wouldn't be able to hire what we need. And so, if I guess the best testament to how seriously we take that is, as John pointed out, this building. This is 100,000 square feet of modern classrooms and labs, and it contains, and you'll see it when you look around, when you have a look around. It contains the same equipment as we use in the big production facilities, and that our customers use in the field. And we can teach any discipline that you need to know, whether to make our gear or to work on it here in this facility. And if you don't know, Ariel for forever has always had an approach to our customers that, look, if you operate our stuff, the training is free because we want you to know how to work on it, because it's important that you do. Because if it goes down or if it's not maintained correctly, you have a bad experience and it gives us a black eye. So it's vital to us, to all of us, to have it run right. Um, so John already highlighted this, but I think the point I want to make about employee training that we do here is we're seeing some real gains with the programs that we have. In the past several years, um, well over 100, probably 120 new employees have come to us through a program called Blue Chip, where they have attitude and aptitude. They want a career, but they don't have any skills, any direct knowledge of what we need them to do. And we bring them on board for 6 months, and through an intensive and well-developed set of training programs, we give them a career. And that has been so encouraging to see that sort of result. And it's really great to walk the floor and see people who have come through that program doing big things and on their way into even bigger things. Um, so uh, given that we as a company feel like there's a big investment to be made in for training and development to make sure that the industry has all the skills it needs. It's so encouraging to see this body and this amount of scholarship support, and to be in a room of bright students who are sort of on their way on that same path. So I just want to say in closing, congratulations to you all. And as someone who's been in the industry for a long time, I just want you to know from my perspective, you're on your way to a career in something, whichever discipline, whichever way you're pointed, in this broad set of the industry, you're on your way to something that is exciting and engaging and very, very valuable for all of us. So thank you. Congratulations on your hard work, and thank you all for being here again.
Thank you, Alex and John, both of you. And again, thank you to Ariel for your hospitality and your commitment to Ohio's workforce and the future of our industry. Alex, as you alluded to, do hope that everybody has some time here. I know we've been chatting a little this morning at your tables, but a key piece of this is to make sure that the students and our awardees have time to meet others within the industry and explore those opportunities. There are over 208,000 Ohio jobs connected to natural gas and oil in all different fields all across the state. And that's a key piece of our mission, is to create educational empowerment and make those connections. And again, Alex, thank you, and Ariel and everybody in the room to help fulfill that goal here today. I'd like to call up the chair of our scholarship committee, John Kramer, who will take the next step in our program. John has dedicated a whole lot of time volunteering for our organization on this committee. I'm sure he'll share more, but it's an incredibly competitive and serious process that John and his colleagues on the scholarship committee take to issue these awards. It is something that is done in a very collaborative and engaging way, but ultimately we have a limited amount of resources, and we want to ensure that those resources are going to really the best and the brightest to fulfill the mission set out for this fund and our foundation. And John, to you, I've just seen personally the hard work and the dedication you put in, again, on your own time to volunteer and help us out. We're very appreciative of it. And please help me welcome John Kramer, the chair of our scholarship committee, to the stage.
Well, good morning, everyone. As George indicated, I'm the current chair of the scholarship committee. My name is John Kramer. I'm a registered engineer in the state of Ohio. I'm a proud graduate of Penn State University. No offense to you Buckeyes, but like to think of ourselves as the loyal opposition in this fine state. I graduated in 1979 with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. I've been practicing in the oil and gas industry my entire career. To highlight some of the diversity of the things that we do in our industry, I've held positions of doing engineering work, technical sales. I've managed people, worked in the exploration and production side of the business, had a chance to have experience in drilling, completions, and production engineering. Currently, I'm focusing on regulatory, compliance, and safety needs for my current employer, Aspire Energy. So it's a great industry. We have a lot to offer, a lot of ways that you can impact the industry. The scholarship program at UJEEP is the scholarship committee. The scholarship program is very integral to the program at UJEEP. UJEEP awarded its first scholarship in 2007. Since then, the UJEEP has awarded $599,000 in scholarships, including this year's award. As George indicated, all that money has come from contributions primarily from the industry. We certainly will accept anyone's contributions, but it is an industry-driven program. Producers, people in the industry voluntarily make those contributions, and it supports a very, very good and important program. In the history of the program, we have had 32 individuals that have won that award 4 consecutive years. You'll hear from one of them a little bit later today, but that is quite an accomplishment. I'm a previous board member that served on UJEEP many, many years ago. And then I was asked to join the scholarship committee in 2012, and I continue to serve on the committee and currently as chair. I've chaired it for the past 3 years. It's been a pleasure to serve with the other 8 members of the committee. Their names are listed in your program. A lot of dedicated individuals that we put a lot of time and effort into this. Each of the committee members review each and every scholarship application. Every page that you folks turn in, all the applicants, we read them, we pore over them, and we score them, because somehow we have to find a way to compare one individual to another. And unfortunately, we don't have the funding to be able to award scholarships to each individual. Over the course of the 15 years of the scholarship program, we've received over 1,276 applications. In the old days, before we were able to exchange the information electronically, we would each get a box in the mail that had 3 3-inch binders full of applications that we would pore over and evaluate. After all the applications were reviewed, the committee would meet to make the hard decision of who got the award and who didn't. Everybody certainly that applied was deserving of an award, but we simply did not have the funding. So we're sorry that we couldn't fund everybody. I certainly congratulate those of you that are the award winners. For me, and I think I can speak for all of my fellow committee members, it's very rewarding to read the essays that each of the applicants have submitted. Over the years, we see the individuals grow, mature, and focus their future plans to get into the industry. We see how their attention, their desires of what they want to do become much sharper and much clearer. In a way, I've only had the chance to meet a few of you, of the applicants, but in a way, all the committee members feel that we know you in some sort of way after reading the applications. We actually go back and we read previous year's essays, and we do follow your progress, through your college career, what your career plans are, and it has been very rewarding. And I compliment each of you on your growth and as your career plans come into focus. On behalf of the UG program and my fellow committee members, I certainly want to congratulate each and every one of you. I hope that your future career in this great industry offers you the feelings of fulfillment and satisfaction that I've received in my career. This is a great industry, and I hope you all consider becoming a part of it. At this point, I'd like to invite Madeline Newell. She's a junior at Ohio State studying in business management. She is one of our 4-year award recipients, to say a few words. Madeline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Madeline Newell. Thank you, Ariel and OG, for hosting this event. It's really nice to get everyone together and to meet some of my fellow energy industry classmates. So I started at Ariel in a manufacturing fundamentals internship, as John had previously touched on. I was a high school senior, a College Credit Plus student at North Central State College, and I was co-oping here. I had applied for the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program scholarship my senior year after I had developed a passion for machining, and I was awarded the scholarship based on my career goals, my industry experience, my academic achievements. I worked full-time in the cylinder cell. I took a few engineering classes, and I transferred to OSU. I completed the Blue Chip, earning my NIM certificates as a CNC machinist. And over the last few years, OGEEP has impacted my education financially and professionally, offering field trip opportunities as not only a scholarship recipient, but also an employee of the natural gas industry to get involved in the industry. Some examples include roundtables, tours of Orton Geological Museum at Ohio State, State House fossil tours, fossil hunting in the shale at Cedar Creek. These experiences really opened my eyes to the history of the industry and the importance of our industry and our natural resources. I networked with STEM teachers, and I was invited to a STEM classroom for a field trip as a guest speaker where I spoke to kindergarten through fifth graders about energy, STEM careers, and I even took my model compressor that I made in my blue chip program, and they absolutely loved the shiny aluminum cylinders. Because of this scholarship, I've been inspired to also get involved in other organizations such as Women in Manufacturing, the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, the Women's Energy Network, and the Young Leaders of Licking County through the Licking County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to the Ohio producers that make these scholarships possible so that other students like myself can achieve our dreams. And I'm excited for the future of the energy industry, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Next, I'd like to invite Anthony Spear. Anthony is a freshman at Youngstown State University studying computer information services. Ask him to share his thoughts.
Hi, my name is Anthony Spear, and this upcoming fall I'll be going to YSU for actually computer science, switched majors. But I'd just like to tell a little bit about myself, my journey, and how I got up here. So coming into high school, I'll be honest, I didn't take school very seriously. I think I failed math sophomore year, didn't have the best grades, but I realized that my life is in my hands. So coming into junior year, I did as many extracurriculars as I could, got my grades up, all A's for upperclassmen years, and got a pretty good portfolio of things that I've done, applied out to as many scholarships as I could, and luckily, one of the ones that I won was this one. And because of this scholarship and the other scholarships that I've won, I'll now be able to attend college full-time, completely debt-free, which is absolutely huge. So I'd just like to thank all of the donors, this program, because it means a lot to me.
Now it is my pleasure to announce the names of this year's recipients. And also, we have a few past recipients that are here that have been able to join us today. They received their awards sort of between pandemic and some other problems. So I will call your name. I'd ask you to please come forward when you're announced, and then we want to do a group photo for the group. The first person is Ms. Kenzie Boer. I'm sorry if I butcher anybody's name. Kenzie is a sophomore at the University of Akron studying mechanical engineering. This will be her second year of receiving the award. Next would be Mr. Clay Jeffers. Clay is a freshman going into Marietta College in petroleum engineering. This will be his first year. The next recipient is Noah Ketchum, a freshman who will be going to the University of Cincinnati in chemical engineering. Next, Ms. Allison Landon, a freshman, going to Waynesburg University studying environmental science. This will be her first year studying. Now, I'm going to go off script here a little bit. I apologize. For those of my industry peers that might question why an oil and gas association would award a scholarship to an environmental science major, they can provide us a lot of help, support, and keep us out of trouble. So welcome to the industry. We look forward to your assistance. I'll try to stay on script. I'm sorry. Next would be Mr. Ryan McGinnis. He will be a freshman entering Ohio State, studying material science and engineering. Ryan McGinnis, did I mispronounce? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, somebody gave me bad information. I'm sorry. The next, you've already heard from her, but Mandolin Newell. Mandolin will be a junior at Ohio State. This will be her 4th year receiving the scholarship and studying business management. Mr. Colby Price, a freshman at University of Northwestern Ohio. Colby will be studying diesel technology and diesel business management. Mr. Morgan Robinson is a freshman. I'm sorry, it said Mr. I'll show you. I apologize. I just copied and pasted. I didn't fat finger it. Morgan is a freshman attending Hobart Welding Institute, studying welding fabrication. Once again, Morgan, I apologize. I hope I get this one right. Mr. Caleb Schaefer, a freshman at Marietta College, will be studying petroleum engineering. Ms. Carolyn Cedar, a junior attending Wittenberg University. She'll be studying accounting. Ms. Courtney Sherman, a freshman. She'll be attending Shawnee State University, and she will be studying to be a high school teacher, primarily focusing on 7th to 12th grade in social studies. In her essay, Courtney impressed many of us by tying what she believes she can bring to the table to educate students in the importance of the energy industry to our country. I explained to her as we were having breakfast when we first read that. When I first read the application, I thought, how in the world is this young lady going to tie being a high school teacher to the energy industry? She impressed all of us on the committee with her plan of how she can help us get the message across. Certainly appreciate it. Next is Mr. Luke Seifert, a freshman at University of Akron. He will be studying mechanical engineering. Next, you've heard from him just a few moments ago, Anthony Spear, a freshman at Youngstown State University in computer science, right? All right, welcome. Mr. Caden Sykes. Caden is a freshman at Youngstown State University in his first year studying geology. Our next two recipients are past recipients, Ms. Julia Greenwich Suggs. She attended Mount Vernon Nazarene University. She received the award in 2018 and 19 in Business Management Technologies. And Ms. Bridget Petrus, she is also a past recipient. She went to Youngstown State University. She received an award in 2018. Had the privilege of sitting beside her at breakfast, and I found out she also just received her master's degree from WVU in geology. She is currently working in the energy department at Battelle Memorial Institute. So, and with that, I'll do it.
But to help conclude our program, I'd like to welcome the chairman of the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program, David Hill, to share some remarks. David?
Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here. And one of the things I wanted to say was thank you to the folks at Ariel. Just thank you very much for always being a supporter. This is a beautiful facility. I told somebody earlier I felt like I'm on a college campus, so it could be the Ariel University. Thanks again. So it's great to see everybody here today, get to see the recipients of the 2022 class. Thank you all very much. John alluded to earlier, they read each and every one of your applications. I served on that committee for some period of time, and I was always amazed. It's like these guys are young ladies and gentlemen. They're 18 to 22 years old, and they've accomplished so many things. And at 64, I feel like I've wasted my life compared to what these people are. I mean, it's amazing. It makes you feel good about the country and the youth. It really does. So I'm second generation oil and gas. My dad was a production supervisor for a oil and gas company. So I've been, that's all I've ever known is oil and gas. And we moved to this little town in central West Virginia when I was a little boy. And when oil and gas comes into an area, sometimes it can be a little disruptive. Everybody makes more money, everything, but you know, the grocery store is a little more crowded, things like that. So we moved into this town, and for the most part, everybody was glad. But there was a couple guys on the playground started giving me a bad time about what my dad done. So I went home and told my mother. I said, "Man, these guys were giving me the business on the playground." She sat me down and she said, "I want you to listen to something. Your dad gets up every day, does a hard day's work, and he and his colleagues are producing a product that everybody needs." She said, "Don't you ever be ashamed of what your father does." And that's probably why I'm so passionate about this. It's you're doing good work. You're going to help provide something that everybody needs. That's why we call it Essential Ohio Energy. Touches everything in your life. So again, I've been doing this for 42 years, and it makes me feel good. I feel good about the future of this oil and gas industry because I see you folks. I've read your applications. I've heard about your stuff. I'm just really I'm happy, and I want to thank each and every one of the sponsors. This is the first year we've done this. This is a brainchild of George's here. I see this as being an ongoing event. We'll be able to give out more scholarships because of what we're doing right here this morning. One of the other added benefits of what we're doing here is networks. I think, John, maybe you touched on it here earlier. You got to network. You have to interact. There are a lot of people, men and women of my vintage, that would just love to help and give young people advice. If you're young, seek out a mentor. And if you're of my vintage, be that mentor for somebody. Seek that person out. Share what all you know and what you've done. So again, we're going to go do a tour, mingle a little bit, and ask questions. There's a lot of people here. Charlie Dixon, Jeff Baker, I could go on and on. Don Huck. These guys would love to share with you their life experiences and what they do, and they can help you with that. So to close out this program, I'd like to honor and acknowledge a true friend of the oil and gas industry. So John Kramer, would you come up here, please? As it was mentioned earlier, John's chaired this program for 10 years. John, we want to thank you for your time, your dedication, your volunteering, and your passion for this industry. So John, thank you very much. A true friend of the industry.
Thank you, David, and John, again, thank you. We're honored to give you our Legacy Award and appreciate your support. Once again, want to thank you all for coming out. I'd also like to thank the team of mine at UJEEP, Sean, Hope, and Ann, who have helped organize and create the possible here today. Again, to our host, Ariel, thank you. I know we'll be doing some tours for folks who would like to tour the facility here, and I think we'll be breaking folks up by tables to do that. But please take some time, look around. If you can hang around for the tour of this incredible facility, please do that. And most importantly, be sure to network and explore the possibilities. Once again, to all of our sponsors and all of you for coming out to Mount Vernon this morning, we're appreciative. Thank you for what you do for our industry to create essential Ohio energy every single day and help power our great state and our great country. Thank you all for coming.